3 DPS, 1 tank, and 1 healer, although it can be completed in a variety of combinations. When you first load into the dungeon, there's going to be 3 path options ahead of you, left, middle, and right. And to figure out which path leads to the entrance to the dungeons, you need to locate the Orcas head that is located at the beginning of the hallways. If you'll see here, we'll take a trip to the left first. Where Cat Silverhawk is jumping is the location that marks where the Orcas head would be if this path is correct. You can also see if this Orcas head on the left side by standing on top of the fireplace and jumping. And again, they are all jumping at the location of this middle Orcas head. And then that is the final Orcas head. And as you can see, this is the correct path, so we will continue on. This dungeon is made up of 4 different puzzles that need to be solved to unlock the mysteries of the dungeon. The first puzzle is a matching game in which you need to match the tiles on the floor to the tiles behind the coffin. As you can see, the first tile is the spirit of Nang Nang, and so we will match the tile to the tile behind the coffin. You know you will have the correct tile when the yellow words appear on the screen saying that the god is willing to help you. If you do not pick the right tile, the yellow words will say that you have angered the spirit of the god, and an enemy will spawn from the coffin. After you have matched the tiles, a door will open. On the other side of this door is 2 wraiths that will drain the life of whoever goes through the door first. So you want to make sure that your tank and healer are the first 2 people through the door. Keep an eye out for the dwarves that are hiding in the corners of the dungeon. There are 2 achievements that go along with these dwarves, one for killing them all and one for keeping them all alive. In this run through we will kill all of the dwarves. The first dwarf of this dungeon spawns where Meliodas was jumping. This room is the second puzzle of the dungeon. This puzzle is fairly straightforward if you're in communications with the other members of your team. One person will drink a potion from the table and it will give them an aura that is visible to the other members of the group. Once the other members have told the person which color and animal they are, all they need to do is walk to the corresponding square that the matching animal is on and stand on the square for a few seconds. This will cause the aura to go away. This is repeated until all the potions have been drunk. If the puzzle is completed successfully, it will grant the group Chultan currency. If one of the members of the group was to walk through the door to get to the next room before all the potions have been drunk, it will trigger a trap. This trap that we set off is a guess and check puzzle. The goal of this puzzle is to get to the other side. If you step on a wrong square, you'll be transported back to the beginning of the puzzle, and an Orcas head ghost will appear on the square you had chosen. Repeat until you have crossed the trap successfully. After this trap, the first door that you will come across has wraiths that will spawn once you walk through the door. Same concept as before. Let the tank and healer go first. If you read each of the tomes in this room, it will give you a clue as to what abilities the skeleton keys provide to the group member that uses them. The key on the left will give you a temporary HP bar. The middle key makes you do more damage against the adds and less against the boss, and the right key makes you do more damage against the boss but causes damage over time. You want your healer or tank to grab the left, your lowest DPS to grab the middle, and your highest DPS to grab the right key. Once the DPS has picked up the right key, it will start causing damage immediately, so the healer needs to pay attention to this to make sure that the DPS does not die, and the rest of the group needs to be ready to enter the boss fight before the DPS picks up this key. Every time Orcas jumps and does his AoE attack, it pushes everyone back. If someone were to land in the ooze, it will create zombie adds that will join the fight. At a point during the fight, there will be a green ball that will appear. This ball is attached to one of the group members. The person with the temporary HP bar needs to go and eat that ball. Otherwise, it will kill the person that it's attached to and has the possibility to kill multiple people. There's another dwarf at the bottom of the stairs, as you can see where Meliodas is jumping again. As you can see, there's another tomb dwarf there. This is the third puzzle in the dungeon. It is a guess and check puzzle. If you walk up to the podiums, you will see that the pop-up either says to manipulate the item or use the item. The two podiums that say manipulate are going to be the last in the sequence, so you want to check the items that say use. When you have the correct item, it will glow blue and say that this is the correct switch in the sequence. Continue guessing and checking until you have finished the puzzle. If you walk through the door before this puzzle is complete, you will be teleported into a trap. This trap that we are being teleported into is an enemies trap in which all you need to do is clear the enemies that have spawned and make it to the other side of the trap. Once you get to the room with the bridge, you're going to want to avoid the group of ads that spawn by staying to the left of the post. If you walk through the middle, it will spawn the group that needs to be killed before jumping down, or you will get stuck. There's another dwarf in this area if you walk straight back, as you can see where Meliodas just killed that dwarf. The fourth puzzle trap is exactly the same as the first puzzle trap. In this video, we skipped the fourth puzzle and just triggered the trap. This trap is a transportation trap, in which you need to move the rocks from in front of the door to the pile. There is a set time to do this in, but that time is rather long, and you are very unlikely to fail if you are moving the rocks. Once you reach the room with the T-Rex, you're going to need to make sure that you clear all 3 groups of ads, as you cannot continue any further if these groups are left standing. The second boss of this dungeon is Withers. When you first enter the room, you're going to want to position yourself on the cardinal directions directly in front of a staircase. The AoE attack that knocks you back will trigger if you are knocked back into a dragon head. As you can see, I'm standing on a diagonal and I got knocked back into the dragon head. The first trap is electricity with slowing water, followed by fire, then poison, and finally a bone golem. To stop the mechanics, you will need to run up the stairs and kill the dwarves in the booths. The first one is purple, then red, then light blue, and then green. So as you can see, I got knocked back up the stairs on that AoE attack so that I did not trigger the attack. The AoE attack had been triggered for a second time, so we're going to start with the purple. And then the red. Then light blue. And then green. Once the power station has been destroyed, the last step is to defeat Withers himself, and this will complete the second boss. This is the last room with dwarves in it. Usually you would want to avoid aggroing any of these dwarves, as the combat advantage damage they deal is enough to kill any DPS if the tank is not ready to deal with the aggro. Since we are doing the achievement to kill all the dwarves, we are going to kill this room of dwarves as it is the last step in the achievement. If you are trying to get the achievement for keeping them all alive, you are going to want to make sure that you keep all of the dwarves alive in that room and just walk straight through. The last boss is a Neesee. When you go into this fight, you want to let the tank take aggro first, as there is an overhead slam that does quite a bit of damage. The animation for this overhead slam is that Neesee will jump into the air with a big flaming sword. During the fight, watch for the hands to appear at the side of the platform. When the hands spawn, they will run to the opposite side of the platform to avoid being pulled off the platform. As you can see, there are the hands, so we're on the opposite side of the platform, and we got pulled to the middle. There's the jumping animation for that overhand swing, and then he teleported away. Once the ads spawn, there will be blue souls that spawn as well. These souls need to be killed immediately as they will charge the soulmonger, and if the soulmonger becomes fully charged, it will cause a full party wipe. Once he becomes immune, work on clearing out the ads while avoiding the pull of the blue hands. Watch for the last blue hands right at the end. That will pull Neesee off the platform and will complete the dungeon. Thank you all for watching. I hope you found this very informative on Tomb of the Nine Gods. If you haven't already, please go ahead and follow my channel, as well as follow me on Twitch or on Facebook at SoupHealsU. Thank you.